Hey, what's up everyone? It's Jason Donnelly, aka DJ Puzzle, reporting from my website, iPadLoops.com. And first of all, I want to give everyone a big shout out and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I reached 1,500 subscribers this month and I'm super stoked. So thank you. I've got something really special lined up for you. We're going to do a live dub techno jam in AUM, using my new favorite synth, Kronecker, which is a new synth by Iceworks Ice Gear. And I'm going to show you some things you may not have thought about doing with this synth and with AUM. And I'm also going to sprinkle in some of my tips from previous videos and episodes. So let's dive into the mix. Alright, so look what I'm doing here. I'm using the built-in keyboard in AUM to activate emitters in Kronecker. I mean, there's a lot more going on, but watch the little keyboard down here. I've got 2 emitters running right now, and now a third. And this is one of the many reasons why I love Kronecker. Wait, doesn't it have this really cool MIDI learn feature? Yes, it does. And it's really smart. But we're not going to use it. Such a fun synth, really deep. Now I'm using BS16i for a bass line, and I'm using Rosetta bass line to drive it. On the master bus here, or what I'm calling the master bus, I have dub filter. So now I can run a filter across the board. Get a kind of a DJ effect going. And here I'm using a little EQ on Kronecker FM. Here's my trick and perforator for a pumping sidechain effect. Let's add a little perforator to my electro percussion track. I've got my pump preset here, and that'll give it that kind of pumping sidechain effect. If you want to know more about how I set that up, I have a video tip. I'll link to it above and in the video description below. Be a link popping up on your screen for that right now. Alright, so I've got Zox driving Kronecker FM, which is a Rosetta sequencer. I've got bassline driving Kronecker. We're using one of the 4 emitters right now, and I'm going to activate another one. This is how we can add layers to our live jam. It's like having 4 different synths one channel. I really like BS16i for generic sounds. There's some great bass sounds in here. The filter's not bad. Throw a little verb on that. The built-in verb sounds nice too. Kronecker in the mix. Two instances of Axon 2 in the background, creating my drum tops. You can hear the electro percussion and hi-hats adding extra rhythms and sounds to really funkify this jam. Watch my drum tops video tip to see how I set that up. Should be a link above, and I'll include a link below in the description. Breaking it down. So, how did I set all that up? Well, here's what I've got going on here. Kronecker has what they're calling in the synth emitters, okay? And these emitters are kind of like oscillators. So there's like 4 emitters. Okay, right here you've got your toggle for turning them on or off and selecting the one you want active for tweaking. Which brings us to the tip of the day. Using the built-in MIDI keyboard in AUM to turn the emitters on and off. So let's just have a look at how everything is set up. I'll take you through the setup step by step. All right, so the first thing you'll want to do is go here and hit the MIDI control, all right, and assign the built-in MIDI keyboard to be your main MIDI control there. Okay, so now that that's set up, close that window. Go down to the keyboard wrench for keyboard settings, and under your MIDI destinations here, make sure Kronecker channel 1 is checked. You have a little check mark next to it and MIDI control below that. Those two should be check marked. Okay, and then MIDI channel 2. I set the keyboard to MIDI channel 2 because Bassline's sending information to Kronecker through MIDI channel 1. So this will help us avoid any sort of MIDI conflicts. Okay, now here's the cool thing here. This is where you can set your MIDI controls. Under channel, under Kronecker, you can see there's a set of parameters now that you can assign to a controller. So scroll through all these cool parameters and find emitter on off for emitter A and set the MIDI channel 2. MIDI channel set to 2. And I set this was CC. Let's set it to note. Okay, note 1 or note 0, whatever. I chose note 1. This is note 1 here. Boom. Now that is going to turn emitter A on and off. You could have it set to 0 and use that low C there, and so we'll do it again for each emitter. There's 4 emitters. You gotta scroll down through all these, look at all these crazy parameters that you can assign to your controller. And we're gonna go emitter on off for emitter B. Channel 2, again, note, set that to note. Now note 2, okay, note 2. And go down the line and do that for the other 2 emitters. Okay, that's note 2, 1 and 2 right there. There's 3 and 4, okay? That's all you got to do to set that up. And now you can see me turning those emitters on and off with the keyboard. Now I'm sending a really simple MIDI sequence to trigger notes in Kronecker. I'm sending them from Rosetta bassline. As you can see here, really simple C, 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 C. Okay. Real quick. So just to set up Kronecker with bassline, click on the MIDI sources menu and you'll see keyboard is checked. Also look, Rosetta bassline channel 2 MIDI out is checked. That's sending MIDI data from bassline to Kronecker. It's that simple. And also your keyboard is set up. All right, so let's move on. Same thing with Rusemaker FM. Just make sure that the Rosetta Zox is the MIDI source, okay? Sending information over to Rusemaker FM. Now, we've got BS16i. And this is what we're using for our synth bass sound. And I'm sending a real basic bass line over, just a couple notes, to BS16i from Rosetta Bassline. Now, Axon 2, this is a beautiful app. I use it on almost everything now as my percussion and drum top instrument. You'll see I have a couple instances here. One is for percussion. Oh, and putting this pumping on the percussion will really sweeten it up, and also EQ. So I cut the lows on these two channels. I cut with using a high pass filter. I cut the lows. Okay. And over here we have our master bus. So I'm calling the master bus because everything is being routed into it. We've got a limiter to protect our mix from clipping. I got a 23 millisecond look ahead, attack, release, ceiling, threshold, got the auto gain on, and I've got a filter on that channel as well. And you can see here I have it set to receive from bus A, and everything else is sending to bus A. See that? So it's all routed to bus A, mix bus A. So all my channels are sending the mix over to bus A. Okay, all these channels over to bus A. And then on channel 9, I've got the input to receive bus A. And that's my master bus. And you have a latch button here for the keyboard so you can latch those keys. All right, so now that we got that set up, we are ready to jam. Now, Kronecker has my pump setting preset on it, right? I just kind of wanted to show you what that sounds like in this case with it off, and then back with it back on. So you can really hear the difference. All right, so check it out. Right? So now if we turn it back on, it's pumping. You know, the audio's dipping when the kick hits on the quarter note. And Zox is playing a really simple kick snare pattern, and it's sending that over. Same thing goes with bassline. All real simple patterns. Bassline kicking it over to Kronecker, and another bassline kicking it over to BS16i. Love this filter. It's not bad for what it is. And Axon 2. Oh man, here's something you can do live with Axon 2. You can use these little XY pads to jam out for a good minute or two. Let me just set them up here real quick, and you'll start to really hear it. Yes, you'll find out why I love this app so much. Okay, so let me just set this up. All right, now we can, now we can really jam out with Axon 2 on the percussion section. So much fun to be had with these two right here. Axon 2, these two tracks. And now if we put a little pumping on that, oh man. So we got perforator, see what I mean? Really adds to it. Now it's super funky. It really helps. And here's the hi-hat top over here. The other instance of Axon 2. I'm cutting the lows, baby. You gotta cut those lows on that. Love Axon 2. I'm a sucker for FM synths. So I love Kronecker too. Oh, one more thing. Check this out. Hit your mutation probability on baseline. And now your baseline comes alive. Now it won't be so repetitive. See, what else can I show you about this rig? When we talked about the EQ, I had an EQ FM, a Rhythmaker FM. I had to EQ it. The kick was a little too, I don't know, punchy and round. It wasn't deep enough. So those settings worked, I think. Sound nice. What else can I show you? Let's see. Let's add some AUM to the mix. You can tell I did this out of order because AUM was already loaded earlier on in the video. Yeah, AUM and a little perforator for pumping, quarter note pumping. Yeah, baby. Watch this. Here we go. Anyway, I think that pretty much sums it up. I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope you got a bit of inspiration from this video. Thanks again for subscribing, for all the support. I put links to all the apps in the video description and links to the other tutorials that I referenced in this video. And I'll leave you with this.